Well, hello. Hi, this is a resume and cover letter workshop from the Career Center here at UC San Diego. First, let's talk a little bit about the resume itself. What is a resume? A resume is a document that presents you in the best possible light for the purpose of getting invited to a job interview. It's a brief summary of skills, education, experience, qualifications, and other information relating to that job description you're after. It shouldn't be used to present your entire life story. They're highlights. It should be well written, free of spelling errors, visually appealing, and have all these things work together. Pop quiz. All right. What is the initial amount of time an employer takes to review an applicant's resume? What do you think? Well, on average, is 7 seconds for that initial review. That's pretty quick if you think about it. Let's look at some of the other pieces of the resume as we go through, starting with the summary of qualifications. These are strong statements at the beginning of your work resume that help you summarize your skills and experience in order for a prospective employer to quickly get a sense of the value you could offer. They also talk about things that can be picked up by an applicant tracking system, keywords, and things of that nature that also come from the position description. These things typically don't have personal pronouns in them and are usually from 2 to 4 sentences. The skills, knowledge, and ability that you have as it relates to the specific job or position description you're after. Education. Education is a critical piece here. And you're at the University of California, or maybe a recent grad, and you want to make sure you showcase that because UC San Diego is an excellent school, an outstanding school, especially because of you and the work and accomplishments that you've made. We'll talk a little bit about this. You want to list your most current degree and the date awarded or expected. So here would be University of California, San Diego, anticipated or expected June 2022, June 2024, June 2026, whatever it was, or is or will be. And then you want to have actually your degree in reverse chronological order, starting with associate's degrees. So the most recent would be whatever you're doing now. So in this case, this person's doing a bachelor's. It would be a Bachelor of Science in Management Science with a GPA of a 3.5 or above, you could list there. So you'd actually want to list it to pretty specifically what you have. This is not required, though. The GPA is not required on your portion of the education. But if you typically have above a 3.5, that's something you might want to shout out there. There are different areas that require higher GPAs or do not require GPA as a critical factor either. But if you have maybe a 3.0 or above, or consider these things, it's not required, but it can make a difference showcasing your academic prowess. The name of the institutions which the degrees were from or will be attained, and the city and state of the institution can be helpful too. Here's not on there, but you should locate that and then put it on your resume for each area that you have in terms of where it appropriately applies to. And your major and a minor. So all those things are really, really important. The name of the university, the location, whether it's a degree that you accomplished, or whether you're anticipating it or expecting it, your degree area, and what it is. Is it a master's, bachelor's, PhD, associates, those kinds of things. And make sure you have this listed right. You may wonder, but I don't have that degree yet. You're showing that it's anticipated or expected, so they know that too. The experience. Now here, this is a really critical area. Experience is so important, and it can be a lot of different things. You want to include the job title, the name of the employer or organization, the city, state, and the dates of employment, month and year to month and year. So you'll see here, operations assistant, Kiwi Shoal Capital Management, San Diego, California, and then the 9 so-and-so to present. Present just means you're currently doing that. So if it was from 9/24 to present, that just means that you've done that time frame. As soon as you put an end to it, it's going to change a little bit of the correct tense for the action verb. So like most current job is first, again, this is reverse chronological, and each one should have an action verb. So it shouldn't start with, again, a pronoun or anything. It should start with a verb. And if it's a current job, like the present one, it would be support, update, or analyze, as opposed to updated or analyzed or things of that nature. So that's how you start it. We're also looking for an action to follow, or actually follow the action, a project and then a culmination or some sort of result. Like this, support 15 portfolio and trading administrators with processing more than 200 daily security transactions, resulting in an increased productivity. So the support is the action, the processing of those transactions are kind of what the project is, and the result is the increased productivity. So those are things you can think of to give a whole different level of what you're trying to do. Now, in general, scope and numbers is great. If you taught a class, include the number of students. If it's a fair number, if you were responsible for a budget, include the dollar amount. These kinds of things can show what you dealt with, how you handle those situations, and how you might be able to handle those kinds of situations in the future. Yes, avoid beginning descriptions with phrases like responsible for or duties included. They're kind of outdated and very, very broad or too vague to really be put on. And when you could put something like spearheaded or managed or collaborated, things that really showcased in that particular area what you've accomplished already. Those things may be a stronger verb. Now, the leadership experience or volunteer experience is also experience. So as you see this kind of happening, there are different types of experiences. So you can put each experience on there in a different way. So for example, leadership could be an area of just the leadership experiences you have, whereas related experiences could be just the experiences that are related, each in reverse chronological order. And extracurricular activities that you're involved in, like on-campus clubs, student government, off-campus community involvement, are all legitimate and good. So you can put your name, the organization, position held, dates of the membership, again, month and year to month and year, like you see, developed, collaborated, served, increased student membership by 30%. These are great things to have on there. They're results oriented, they're numbers driven. There's things that can be picked up by the application tracking system, which looks for these keywords and key things in the description usually. All right. So projects themselves, this is another area that not as many people think about, but is really, really good to put on your resume. If it shows things that you're not doing normally, or things that are in addition to things that add to the resume and your experiences that are beyond maybe other kinds of work that you've done or related experiences. So they can do a lot of kind of things in the academic sense or the word that you've done them, and kind of showcase in that environment that you're accomplishing these things and you have experience. So you have the name, the dates, or the quarter that it took place, short description highlighting the necessary skills and experience, things of that nature. And then there's big things like a senior design project, or small things like maybe some lab work projects. Both of these things have a place for different kinds of positions that you're applying to, and want to consider those things. Include the two things of an overview of what you set out to do or create, and then how do you develop it, including the technical components, things that you did. So these are bullet points you're doing too, met, tasks, and the things that presented. What are the key things you accomplished during that particular project, and laid out in a way that people can see what you've done. Sometimes people add, they're more technical based, what types of languages, tools, skill sets, and so on and so forth that they used to showcase those areas of how they were accomplished in a real world or project situation in this particular setting for getting ready for the job market. Now, membership and activities are also really critical too. So you want to showcase your memberships and activities relevant to the job or industry you're applying to. Now, the swim team here, for example, collegiate swim and dive time. This could be a swim team that's a collegiate team or a club team. Now, if it's a collegiate team and you're an athlete, I would consider that you might want to put that under a leadership category and then list all the accomplishments you have. And you may want to do this for Delta Sigma 2 or undergraduate economics society. These are things that if you don't have room, you can list them as they're important because they showcase leadership, membership, valuable transferable skills that you're able to use in many components in your overall life. But depending on where they're coming from, what they do, you want to showcase what real impact it's made on you and the community and your experience and how that relates to the potential job. So those are valid and excellent areas that you want to add. Some quick check for bullet points. Is it specific enough? Does it have the action, project, and result that we saw when we talked about initially? Does it highlight a skill set? Can someone picture me doing this? Is it almost at least a full line and at most two? Well, if you have those quick checks, you're probably in the right direction for that bullet point. Now here's some resume tips. Digestible qualifications, summary career profile, and core competencies are kind of things that you want to put in there in terms of your summary and in terms of areas that your descriptors, bullet points, those things can kind of make a helpful thing when someone reads it and identify if it relates to the work that they want to do. 2 pages are okay, but make it good. 2 pages were 2.3 times more likely to be chosen by recruiters by Resume Go in 2018. It depends on your situation. If they ask for 1 page, you're going to get 1 page. But if you have value-added information for 2 solid full pages, that might be better for you. More work, but more information for the ATS, more information to people to see what you're accomplishing. Don't necessarily be artistic all the time. I mean, when appropriate, yes, but typically you want to avoid a colorful resume, one with many graphics or especially text boxes and photos in different fonts. As the ATS or applicant tracking system doesn't pick those things up, and they're not necessarily recruiter friendly. Of course, if you're in a field that has those kinds of things, there might be a part that you want to showcase those elements in a very tasteful way. Equation for bullet points. This is another one besides the APR, which is the action, project, and result. It kind of flips here. The result is they achieved, the Y is what they did, and then the doing is as the Z here. This is from Google recruiters, and this is how they do that. So there are different approaches, but they're getting at the same kind of thing. They're something that you achieved a result based on the work that you've done. Active language, implement strong action verbs such as spearheaded, collaborated, managed, articulated, things that are really in line with what you're going to do. If you're, in an area and you don't know what to look up, we'll just hop on the web, search it up on Google, whatever you use, and type in action verbs for a resume, and you'll find hundreds of action verbs that you can pull from and ones that may be more appropriate for that particular job you're after. Quantify and qualify results and achievements to demonstrate an impact. How much, how many, these are really helpful in the big picture. All right, switching gears, cover letters. All right, so know yourself, know the job description, and know how to connect the two. All right, let's see here. 3 questions to ask yourself before you start writing a cover letter. What skills in my major do I have? What would my boss say they appreciate about me? And why should someone hire me instead of the person next to me? You got to make your case. Okay, so here's the job description here. What does the job description tell you about the team is looking for? What are they looking for here? The required qualifications, self-motivated, verbal, written skills, interpersonal, completed basic foundational courses in engineering. Okay, they're looking for these kinds of things, detail-oriented. This tells you what they're looking for. And you want to extract these skills and qualities that they're looking for so that you can put them into the cover letter and speak to it with evidence that supports that you have these skills. Know how to connect the two. The purpose of the cover letter is to tell the reader, in more words than a resume would allow, why you are a great fit for the position. What evidence supports this? And never submit a non-tailored cover letter. They don't add value. Showed examples that display you meeting their asks. What are the things that they're looking for, and how do you meet those things? A cover letter, kind of the basic here. There's many ways to do it. This has got some kind of bulleted format. Some people appreciate this because it's a little bit more direct and easier to identify. Some people like the traditional format, which is just paragraphs, which are out there. So typically you'll have an introductory paragraph that states the position you're applying for, how you found out about the position. The body paragraph is kind of the big deal in terms of those things that show it, discussing the reasons why you're a desirable candidate. Bullets can format stand out. You can do other kinds of evidence. You can highlight these things. It's really the place for you to showcase what you have as accomplishments and why you're the right person for this particular role. And the concluding paragraph, restating your qualifications, expressing interest in interviewing and thanking the reader for their time. It's a formal document. Again, if you find that you're looking at a resume and then looking at the cover letter and you're just repeating that, that's probably not what you want to do. Nor is it a good idea to take the same cover letter and basically change 1 or 2 words. So that's the talk about, hey, make it fresh and make it real. So here's some other truths. Cover letters take time to write. It's if you're going to do something from scratch or a resume too, they take time to do them well. Only submit cover letters in 2 cases. This is kind of the thing here. So One is the job application asks for it. Yeah, if this position asks for it, you're going to have to do that. So you want to have the skills to do it and do it in the right way. And two, it's a job you're really excited about. It's a job you want to. So if you don't want the job, or if it's not a job you're really excited about, or it's not in those areas, it's probably not something you need to like do. So that's kind of the thinking behind it. So if you kind of narrow this down a little bit, you should probably be applying to jobs you're really excited about in the first place. So you'll be doing the cover letters and the application that you like. But if it's not, this is kind of to think about, how do you strategize the process of the job hunt? And so this is one of the ways to look at it through the cover letter lens. You write your first cover letter based on specific job description and save and modify there for future applications. This is very careful here. So you want to have an idea of how to do it, and it's specific to the job description, but it needs to be completely refreshed. So if you're not going to do that, then just start from scratch each time. If you need to do that, so that's kind of the thing here, is you really have to be specific to the job description. It's required to do. When you do it, even if some are dropping cover letters, if an application requires it, you need to submit it. Addressing to Ms. Jane Doe, hiring manager, search committee, not to whom it may concern. To whom it may concern is kind of an older phrase and it's kind of stale. Structure and style, 3 to 4 paragraphs, bullet points to demonstrate qualifications. Impact is okay. No caps or bolded words, avoid abbreviations, just straightforward. Tell a story. Don't repeat anything that's already on your resume, like was mentioned before, and then dig deeper and avoid redundancy. You want to show alignment to their vision of an ideal candidate that you are. And highlight skills, express top and transferable skills that make the student a strong candidate for the exact role. So you're connecting those things that showcase that you have those things that give evidence, supports that, and those skills that are using in other places that you may not have really talked about in the resume and get a chance to talk about it in the cover letter. This is the thing about before. So if it could be copied and pasted and sent to different positions and companies, that's not specific enough. So you may have some things that you write, but if you're just taking a couple lines out there and you're sending it on and just be copied and pasted, you really got to think about this and say, okay, if I were to write an assignment for with a thesis and I'm proving it for a class, I would have that kind of same approach to a cover letter, and that I would be doing it for different positions as opposed to one that's just being a general resume. So we got the thing here is they ask for it, and if you're going to do it well. All right, a couple of things here: programs and workshops and things that we got going here at the Career Center. Handshakes under events, great for that. In-person and virtual programming, information sessions, professional development workshops, on-campus interviewing, and of course, career fairs. Schedule through Handshake. It's a great resource for all sorts of different kinds of things for in-person or virtual appointments, resume cover letters, career exploration, LinkedIn profile building, mock interviewing, salary negotiations, grad school planning, and more. All these kind of cool things on Handshake that you can connect to one of our career staff for in-person or virtual appointments. Digital resources, they're everywhere, and you can have these through the Career Center Handshake programs anywhere, anytime that you have availability for Wi-Fi or internet access. And this is kind of the summary here. And at the end, here's some QR codes that you can get connected to, like the Career Guide or the Trades Connect or Handshake, and some of our other resources for social. And so we're glad you had a chance to look at this. Feel free to meet with us in person and get started on this and have an appointment, or go to one of our events, or meet with employers at Career Fair, just anything. We're here to support you. So wish you a wonderful day.